this way today. Yeah, so listen, y'all. I want to talk about the power of being yourself. A lot of times, some people are not comfortable with being in their own skin. And I can tell because sometimes you got some people who are not comfortable with, being by themselves. Or knowing how to stick to their guns, or stick to their word. If you like red and somebody else like blue, then that's what it is. You just like blue, you know? And if people are gonna chastise you for that, so what? Stick to your guns and be secure in being who you are. It's so funny because today when I was at work and there was a lady who came in looking for her daughter. And at Zeta School, it's kind of funny because everybody sort of kind of packed themselves in, Once we open the doors, they come running in like roaches. And it's kind of crazy. But at the very intel of, at the very intel of dismissal, this grandmother comes in. She's like, yes, my granddaughter, she's not here. She's supposed to meet me here. I'm like, okay, what's your granddaughter's name? She told me her granddaughter's name. I'm not going to say it because, again, I don't want to be, And I'm like, okay. She's like, so where did they dismiss from? I says, well, but then she said, well, they dismissed from the other side. And then she walks over here to your side. And then I come pick her up. Where is she? I was like, ma'am, that's something for you to answer, I'm like, well, what's her name? So I got her name and I got her class, but found out her class was already dismissed. So I'm not going to call her operations, because they're not going to know where she is if she, And so I'm like, well, wait a minute. Let me just go upstairs. When I proceed to walk upstairs, and I notice that she goes storming out. Then two other kids come down the steps as I'm about to go in. And I'm like, do you know a girl by the name of, and they're like, yes, she's right with us. And so I ran back out and says, ma'am. She says, yes. I says, here she is right here with these two kids. I says, well, so being that now she got the kid now, once a parent or grandparent get the kid, they're back for some reason, they're back to normal. It's like nothing else, they're back to normal. And I'm sorry, yeah, but my light is just really, really bright. For some reason, I can't get it down to a lower aperture. However, for some reason now, so I says, ma'am, can you do me a favor? Maybe you might have a device where you can get in touch with her next time so that we don't have to go through this because I've got anxiety. She got anxiety. I'm a father. I know what it is when you're looking for a kid and, and I says, well, Mom, maybe you need to get her a phone. She says, no. She don't need a phone. I was like, okay, listen, she may not need a phone, but it seemed like a few minutes ago she needed one because you were going into panic. I says, well, maybe you should. I says, look, next time be in the lobby so your grandmom or mom can get you so that none of us have to go through this anxiety. Yeah, well, don't tell her, listen, no. I'm telling you because you tried to take me through it. But what happened was I began to continue to be myself and not allow for her to sort of rub who she was off a few minutes ago, onto me. And so we had what they call open school night at Zeta. And this is where I'm coming from now, so it's like late tonight, And the same lady come downstairs. Now I'm being nice to her, right? But the same lady come downstairs. And because I gave her nothing but smiles, even though I'm like, look, ma'am, you should do this. And I smiled it off. And she's like, no, you got to tell me. And I just smiled it off because I know it wasn't me that she was after. And she's like, I'm talking nice to you, granddaughter, because I trust you. If you trusted her, why are you upset with me? You should have stood right there knowing that your granddaughter was going to come back if you trust her. I changed the pace because, again, I knew that she was just angry and she was just in anxiety about her granddaughter, but still refused to say that she's going to get her a phone. I said, well, Mom, you keep going through your anxiety situation, So I knew it wasn't because of me that she had to do that or she was going through that. So the thing that I've also learned, about the power of being yourself is that you get a chance to teach people who you are. For the next time that they see you, they'll notice that they see someone who's familiar. If you keep changing with the times, you keep changing with other people. Let's say, for example, somebody got upset, got tight with you, got you tight and stuff like that, and all of a sudden now you start going off, you cursing this, that, and the other, but everybody else know you to be somebody that's nice and somebody that's humble, somebody that's cool, and somebody who diffuse stuff. If you start changing with the weather, then nobody know exactly who you are. But the more and more you continue to stay consistent with who you are, no matter the situation or circumstance, when people see you the next time, they will be able to concur with that person that's familiar. And then the next time that they see you, they see that you're the same person with them, no matter what they do. And then some people will try you. They will try to see if you're authentic, rather, inside and out. Because a lot of times, one thing I've learned is that there's too many people who are looking for the off button for you. Like if you're nice at work, I'm saying that you're a cool person at work, or you're a cool person in your building, you're a cool person on your block. Sometimes people will test you and try you to see where is his off button or where is her off button. When are they going to finish up with this act? Because they think that sometimes that you're an act. And then watch this. I found out that when people discover that you are the authentic you, that doesn't mean that you don't get mad or you don't get upset. It's just that you know how to categorize, and you know how to take control of, your anger. You can control you. It's no different from somebody who is a weightlifter or a bodybuilder. They know exactly how much their arms can hold because they know how much they weigh, and they know that they had to get their weight to a specific number in order for them to be able to hold and do a handstand and uphold their body, that their arms can stand it. It's the same situation when it comes down to people and you're dealing with people, It's the same situation. You got to know how much you can handle. You got to know what your limit is. You got to know how to hold your weight so that when people look at you, they're like, wait a minute, yo, where's the off button? I also found out that when people find out that you don't have an off button and that the authentic you, they don't want to hang with you no more because it's like, wow, you're that, what are you, Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you don't do nothing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Or, it's not that. It's just that, the way you are at work is the way you are at home. Be you and be comfortable with being you. Be comfortable with being your authentic self.